guys, and welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot readings from the heart. So today's reading is your general year ahead reading for the year 2015, and this is for the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, just to quickly let you know how I do these year ahead readings, I will shuffle the cards as usual off screen. I will then choose 12 cards from the top of the deck, one after the other, to basically represent each month of the year. I will then separate 3 cards at a time, so the first 3 that I pick into the months January to March. The second set of 3 will be April through to June. The third set will be July through to September, and then the fourth set will be October through to December. I will then do your reading based on 3-month intervals at a time, so it will be based on obviously the January to March and so on and so on. And at the end of the reading I will pick a 13th card, which I've already done, the 13th card in the deck that I shuffled from the top, and this will represent the overall reading, so the message that's trying to be conveyed, the gist of the reading, the energy of the year. Okay, and finally, just to let you know, this is a general reading. Okay, so general readings is where it can represent some of you guys. So some of you guys will experience these things, some of you won't. Some of you guys may experience stuff that I tell you that potentially might happen within, I don't know, April to June. Some may be July to September, some may be October to December, some January to March, some might be 2 months, some might be 3 months, some might be the whole year. It just depends. That's why we call it a general reading, because it's not absolutely specific to you, but some of this stuff might apply to you and you might resonate with it. Okay, so having said that, let's proceed. So Sagittarius, your reading is very interesting to me for 2015. Because I think that this reading is about kind of making slow but steady progress. And when I say slow, I don't mean it's going to be an absolute trudge. What I mean is accepting that sometimes Rome isn't built in a day, and sometimes we need to make slow but steady progress, and we need to kind of learn from mistakes in order to achieve our goals. Okay, and we need to also, in order to achieve our goals, overcome negativity and overcome resistance. And I think in this reading there is some resistance with you guys in 2015 that you really need to kind of set aside or overcome or get over in order to move along. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. From January through to March 2015 we have the 10 of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Sun card in reverse. So when I saw these cards, I just felt that somewhere along the line there is something between those 3 months which sort of correlates to maybe your career or maybe goals that you want to attain, and that maybe it might be a little bit slow moving, but it is going to happen for you. Okay, the 10 of Wands is a card about sort of feeling burdened by something, feeling stress, feeling a slight sort of struggle, feeling a little bit of resistance. But when I really look at this card, what it shows me is that the wands are not on this man's back. So he's not being burdened down by something, but he's pushing against something. So I think for some of you guys, from January through to March 2015, you're going to be pushing for something. You're going to be pushing to achieve something. You're going to want something potentially to move faster than it is. But you're going to keep on going because this is what you want. You really want to achieve something. This guy wants to get to a goal, and he's not letting this stand in his way. He's still pushing. He's still moving it along. It's a bit of a strain, a little bit of a struggle going on there, but he knows he's going to get to where he wants to go. To me, he wants to get to this little house here. He's pushing these wands to this little place here. He wants to get to a particular place. He wants to place these wands in this little house. This is what it's saying to me. And what it's saying to me is that you want to get to a certain place. You want to get to a certain goal. There's a little bit of struggle there. There's a little bit of strain, but you're going to get there. We've got the Page of Wands, which represents, it can represent, you know, either you meeting someone younger who potentially could help you with an idea. But the Page of Wands, with all page cards represents youth, represents something new, represents the birth of something. And I think that for some of you guys, it will be something that's young, something that's in its beginning stages, okay, that you're going to need to push through, okay? But you will definitely get there. This card, the Page of Wands, can also talk about sort of taking a diplomatic view. So really kind of considering your next move, kind of planning. And also the Page cards, a lot of the time they're to do with messengers. So messengers, news coming through. And with the Page of Wands, a lot of the time this can be to do with good news coming through for you. So I think that all in all, when I look at these two cards, the Ten of Wands and the Page of Wands, to me this signifies an idea, something that you want to get off the ground. It's taking its time to get going, but you're pushing for it. And I think between January and March, you're going to be pushing something along. And that potentially to me says something maybe within your career. And then we've got the Sun card, and that's in reverse. Now, that's not a bad thing, because the Sun card, potentially out of all the cards, is the one card that sort of has the same meaning, whether it's reversed or whether it's upright. The only difference with this card, with it being in reverse, is that it says that there may be a slight delay around something. So it could be that something that you're pushing for, something that you're trying to attain, something that you're trying to get, something that you're trying to make happen is going to happen, because the Sun card says it's going to happen, and there's going to be great happiness with it. There's going to be really, really good times ahead, a lot of happiness for you, but it might take a little bit of time to have whatever it is that you're trying to push ahead come through. It's going to take a little bit of time for those goals to actually be realised, but you're going to get there. There's going to be a little bit of a delay with it, so it's going to be sort of a little bit slow in getting off the ground. But to me, this suggests that there's something you want to get off the ground for some of you guys. A little bit of time it's going to take, but you're going to get there. And then we have for April through to June, we have the Four of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Three of Wands. And let's just get these cards in order. So we've got these cards here. And to me, the Four of Cups, it kind of denotes not looking at the opportunities that you have around you, but kind of being rather nonchalant about them, or kind of ignoring them, or kind of being bored with them. And it suggests to me, following on from what we're looking here in the first 3 months, feeling that you're pushing against something, pushing for something. You know, you're having to put a lot of effort into getting something off the ground with the Page of Wands, the new ideas coming through, potentially the new ventures coming through that are taking a little bit of time to get off the ground. That potentially for some of you guys, you know, you might be in a case, it might be a case of that you're looking at and you're thinking this is taking so long, and you're growing, for some of you guys, you might be growing a little bit weary off the idea. But the offer is still there, okay? The offer is still there. The potential, the opportunity. The Knight of Cups card to me suggests that the opportunity is still standing there for you, and you're to keep on with it. You're to keep going with it. This is what this suggests to me. If you look at this card here, the guy is not looking at that opportunity. He's only looking at 3 other cups. He's looking downwards at the 3 cups that are upstanding, but he's not looking at what's being offered to him. And he's kind of almost dismissive of it. And it could be that because this is taking time, whatever the idea is, whatever the venture is that's taking time to get going, and because there's been certain delays around it, that you guys, for some of you guys, it might be a case that you might become a little bit bored with it. You might become a little bit bored with waiting for this thing to come off that you've been working so hard for and that you've been putting a lot of effort into. But this Knight of Cups card to me is saying the offer is still there, the opportunity is still there, so hold in there because it's actually still there. The Knight of Cups card can infer a love interest, it can infer love being on offer, and maybe that will be the case for some of you guys between the months of April and June. It could be someone coming in and offering you love, but I think in terms of this reading, it's saying to me that you might get a little bit bored with waiting around, or with, you know, constantly pressing for something, but to hold in there because that offer is still there, that opportunity is still there for this thing to happen. And this card, the Three of Wands, says this to me even more, because the Three of Wands is really about making plans and lots of activity, good fortune coming in, prosperity, good news. It can infer short journeys also, and this really says to me, because the Three of Wands is more of an establishment card. When you look at the Two of Wands, its predecessor, this is about somebody starting out on a journey. The world is in his hand. He's holding a globe in the Two of Wands, sorry, and he's kind of thinking, I can go anywhere. He's looking out on this terrain and he's thinking, I can go anywhere, and he's looking forward to kind of going on this journey. He's going to take a risk. He's going to just head off in a direction and see where it leads him, and he's made plans to do that. And this card is also about planning, but you've established something. And I would think that with the Three Cups that signified, that talked about January to March, plans have been made, ideas have been made, and you're pushing for something that's maybe taking its time to come off for you, but it's coming off. These two cards are saying that maybe for some of you guys there may be a little bit of boredom around the idea. You might be getting a little bit restless about it and kind of thinking, is this ever going to happen? But the opportunity is still alive and kicking. It's still being offered to you. Okay, the opportunity, the doorway to success is still there. And this is really just saying to me, your ships are coming in with this. If you look at the bottom of this card, there are three little ships here. And it's all about kind of, for this card, being an explorer and taking on that adventure and taking on that journey. And really, there's been an establishment of something between January and March for you guys. Okay, and even though your feeling is a little bit restless about it, the opportunity is still there. And it's just saying that if you go ahead with it, if you carry on, if you just carry on with that exploration, if you carry on with that adventure, if you keep on going, your ships are definitely coming with this Three of Wands. It will definitely come in for you, and there's going to be a lot of prosperity with it between the months of April to June. And then we have, and it gets more interesting for me, definitely, with this reading, because between July through to September, we have the Five of Swords, the Six of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. And this really culminates for me a great deal, because the Five of Swords is all about defeating enemies, okay? So it's all about defeating obstacles, defeating struggles, and being the victor. And along with the Six of Wands, this again is a victory card. Again, it's a victory card. It's about being victorious in something. And so I certainly think between the months of July to September, there's going to be a lot of victory there. You're going to overcome any struggles that you've had with any plans, potentially for some of you guys, that you've had in 2015. You know, you've won out the day, you've seen it through. You've gone through those obstacles, and you are the victor, because the Five of Swords and the Six of Wands are both victory cards. And they both talk about having success and overcoming obstacles and overcoming struggles and winning out the day and feeling proud that you've done that. So I certainly think that any obstacles that you've experienced in the first 6 months with an idea, with a plan, with a new venture, with anything that you've been trying to push ahead for, that you're going to actually overcome any struggles or any obstacles or any pitfalls with that. And then we have the Knight of Swords, which is even more amazing, because the Knight of Swords is very much he's an energy that cuts through challenges. He just goes for it. You know, he could be denoted as being a bit of a bully, I suppose, in a way. And I think this card is really saying to you guys that between July and September, you know, you're just going to be charging. You're going to be going for it, or you've got to go for it. And you've got to have the kind of mentality whereby you don't let anything stand in your way. The Knight of Swords is not a victim. He's a winner. He doesn't care. If he wants a goal, he's just going to charge for it, and that's all there is to it. He's going to cut through every challenge you put in his path. And these really do suggest all the same thing to me. Victory. And that you're going to be cutting through challenges and obstacles, because if you look at the Five of Swords, these two people in the background here have put down their swords. Their swords are down and they're looking rather downcast, and you've got this guy here standing and saying, haha, Yeah, there you go. Get stuffed. I won. I got through it. This is what he's saying. And he's won. And he's victorious and he's happy. The Six of Wands again. This guy is sitting on his horse, very proud, with a crowd of people cheering him on behind him. He's won out the day. He's victorious. And the Knight of Swords, again, victorious. He's just going for it. He's got no time to be thinking about this, that and the other. It's just like, I want that and I'm going to get it and I'm going for it. And I think this represents the energy within those 3 months between July through to September, that you've really, you know, you've cut through those obstacles, you've cut through the challenges, and you're really getting to where you want to go. And then for the final 3 months, October through to December, we have the Nine of Swords, we've got the Two of Cups, and we have the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay, so I think during these 3 months there might be that old little bit of negative thinking going on for some of you guys. You know, there might be that little bit of anxiety going on with you guys. It might be going back to that kind of victim mentality, that kind of defeatist mentality that we had in the Four of Cups. Okay, with the idea, and even though the idea is going ahead and you're really starting to pick up the pace with it between July through to September, there is that little bit of stressy thing going on. And it might be, it could be anything. It could be a lot of stress to do with what you're doing, with the goal. Maybe it's a case of that you are, you know, worn out from it, and from all the stuff that you've had to do during the year to achieve it. And it could simply be a bit of anxiety coming back because you're really getting what you want and you're afraid of it falling to pieces. It could be anything, but there's a little bit of anxiety going on there. But there is a lot of support around you within the Two of Cups. There's a hell of a lot of support within the Two of Cups. You've got a lot of love around you. Okay? But we've also got the Page of Cups in reverse. And this is to do with your expectations being a little bit too high. Okay? And it's to do with thinking about what you've got to offer. Okay? So this is why I thought with the Nine of Swords, there is a little bit of anxiety around it. So I don't know whether it's a case of that you've taken on too much during those last 3 months, or maybe you're exhausted from, you know, all of the stuff that you've had to do with this idea or whatever it is that you're pushing for. But this card really is saying to me that, you know, you need to just take everything one day at a time, because there is a little bit of anxiety around this situation, if it is the same situation. If it's not, then for some of you guys there will be a little bit of anxiety during October to December, potentially for some of you guys, but you'll have support around you. Okay? And this is, you know, don't push yourself too much. Don't have so many high expectations of yourself that you come crashing down. Okay? Just take everything in your stride and just realise your limitations. Okay? Still push through for the things you want, but still realise that you're a human being and you're not Superman, and you do have those limitations. So I think this is a really good reading, because I can see that, to sum up, that there is something for some of you guys in 2015 that you're going to be pushing for, that you're going to want to realise. There's a little bit of a delay around that, but it's still on offer to you. And for some of you guys, it might be that there's an opportunity on offer that you're not looking into between April and June, and that the opportunity is not going away, so it's right for you. And then if you stay the course, if you stay the journey, if you plan stuff properly, and if you do it well, you're going to have a lot of success with it. And I can see that through July through to September, we're looking at a real pace taking. You know, there's a real pace. There's a lot of victory there. You've gotten rid of a lot of fears, a lot of struggles, a lot of obstacles that were potentially in your way in the beginning of the year, and you're really cutting through it. But I can see in the final part of the year, the final 3 months, there's a little bit of anxiety that's coming back, potentially that you've taken on too much. But you've still got a lot of love there, you've got a lot of support there, there's a lot of union going on there with you. You know, you've got You've got someone looking out for you there. That could be a partner, it could be family, it could be friends. But I see a lot of friendship and a lot of love during those 3 months. But I think there is a warning with this, with the Page of Cups in reverse, and that is not to expect too much of yourself, not to take too much on, not to think that you can do it all, okay? But just to do everything one step at a time, take things in your stride, realise that we all have our little limitations, and not to put yourself under too much stress about anything, okay? Because you're doing just fine. And finally, the card that I picked that summed up this reading, the 13th card that came up for you was the Nine of Pentacles. And this card is all to do with sort of feeling really comfortable, feeling a lot of prosperity, feeling that your mission has been accomplished. It's having time to indulge in your success, taking time out to reap the rewards of your hard work. But this card also says that in order to feel secure, you can't be controlled by negative feelings, and you can't be controlled by doubts, okay? And to know that you're also in control of your situation, okay? And also to feel that inner sense of security. So I would say that for 2015 Sagittarius, this is going to be a year of kind of never giving up on what you want to achieve. And even in the times where it feels that things aren't going to come off for you, or it feels that things are really going so slow that you actually wonder whether they're going to come off, that if you hold in there, and if you keep confident, and if you have that silent faith that things are going to go well, you will be victorious in what you want. There will be times, as I've said in the last 3 months, potentially for some of you guys, where there is that feeling of insecurity, that feeling of slight anxiety over a situation, but you've got a lot of support going on there through that. And it's also about not putting so much stress on yourself to achieve something, but just to go with the flow, and just to have that inner confidence that things are going to come off for you, because when you do that, you will reap the rewards. And instead of feeling stressed, you're going to actually be feeling quite victorious and quite prosperous. There's a lot of prosperity coming in this card, this 13th card. So I think this year is a year of prosperity for you. But I think it's also a year of kind of knowing that if you want something, it's in your control. This really is what this card is saying to me also. If you want something to come off in your life, if you want to attain a goal, it's all about how you approach it. And these cards to me are saying that through 2015, the approach is positive, positive, positive. Okay, you need to be positive. If things seem to be hindered, if they seem to be taking a bit of time, and you're getting a little bit low about it, and a little bit depressed about it, you're a little bit fed up by it, you need to keep going, because what is right for you will not go by you. And that's what, to me, this Knight of Cups card is saying. And the Four of Cups. Whilst you're kind of getting a bit bored about this opportunity that's on offer, you're kind of saying, nah, it's not going to happen, forget it, forget it. The Knight of Cups is saying, but no, it's here. It's still open for you. The offer is still there. The opportunity is still there. It's going to pay off. You just need to keep going with it. It's still offered. It's still being there for you. The universe is still saying, there it is. It's still there. Don't give up on it. It's taken a bit of time, but don't give up on it, because your ships are going to come in with it. And you're going to be victorious. But you need to take a different approach to it. You need to be the bully boy. You know? You need to be the bully boy. There's no time to be a wilting flower. You need to be the bully boy. Okay? Don't let your anxieties hold you back. There's a lot of support there for you. Every time you take that little dip. Don't pressure yourself so much. Don't ask too much of yourself. Your expectations are too high. Okay, take things one day at a time, take them in your stride, know that you've got limitations, but know that at the end of the day, you're going to get what you want in 2015, and I really believe that. I believe that, yes, there is some effort that's going to go into whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in 2015, But if you put the effort in, you'll get the rewards out. And that's where your Nine of Pentacles come in. So guys, that's the end of your reading. Let me start that again. Guys, that's the end of your reading for 2015. The next readings that I'll be up with are the Law of Attraction tarot cards that I've got. And I'm going to be doing a reading for your year ahead 2015. And this is all to do with what you can expect to attract in from the universe in that year. So I'll see you on that reading and have a great day. Take care.